Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Monsalves.
Hello everyone, my name is Valentina Ahumada.
Hello everyone, my name is Martina Domínguez. In today's video, we're going to present a case for our Hito Evaluativo activity. We as future teachers are in the constant pursuit of a better way of teaching this second language that is becoming more and more fundamental in our everyday lives, not only as a way of finding better opportunities, but as a way of better communication with the world outside our borders. We need to be in constant evaluation for our capacities in order to be at our best level at the moment of teaching our students. With this type of evaluation, we can measure our capabilities and prove to ourselves that our institution that we are able to teach properly and we can face every difficulty that our work gives us. The case that we are going to discuss in this case is about teacher Zapata, who is teaching in a municipal school in the Bio region where the students come from socially and culturally deprived contexts from families with low educational levels, many of which receive help and benefits from the government. This leads to a big amount of students who start working in part-time jobs to support their families, which gives them little to no time to work and learn. In this case, we're going to analyze the behavior of Mr. Zapata towards his students and vice versa, while looking for possible solutions to the problems that we might identify during the analysis. We want to focus on the teaching methodologies, the psychological context of teaching under certain circumstances, and also the different ways that we have to approach a better educational environment for our students. We're going to read the case and break it down in parts where we want to make our points for the analysis, and finally we are going to look for possible solutions to the problems that we might encounter.
This case study begins with the presentation of Mr. Zapata as a teacher. He works in a school where he is the only English teacher for all levels of education, and he has worked over here for over 18 years. He has very low expectation of the students. In the teacher meetings, he has generally mentioned that the students are not motivated by anything. They are never going to learn English because they barely can communicate in Spanish. And in addition, they have serious behavioral issues and some learning problems. In the presentation of each activity, the teacher explains everything in English and then translates everything that he has said. Although there are some more advanced students who can understand what has been said, the rest cannot, therefore, he prefers to translate. He does not give much importance to the development of sociocultural aspect of English. In his opinion, such aspects are not interested to her students. As he pointed out, they don't even know what it's going on their own country. We are going to start analyzing the case, and we have our first point right here. Well, with the beginning of the analysis, we have our first point to make. He has been working for over 18 years, and he is the only teacher in the school. This, in our opinion, is unacceptable. It is impossible for one teacher to be in charge of all the educational level in a high school establishment. This is unfair, not only for the teacher, on behalf of the level of charge that implies and stress, but also becomes unfair for the students because they are in charge of a person with uncountable time and knowledge and skills for the level they have, and because the teacher does not have the time to give feedback or make a special class for the students that, for example, need more reinforcement. He has low expectation about his students, and in the meeting he says that the students didn't have the motivation and they cannot speak English, where they barely can speak Spanish. Well, in this case, we are talking about students from lower social contexts, and so we need to take in consideration the fact that they not have a strong base like we have. Their English learning is something that Mr. Zapata is not taking into account in post of their different social background. He's not showing any interest in the student and look at them in a very condescending way that makes the student feel frustrated for not being understood by their own teacher.
Another point is curriculum and its application. Mr. Zapata explained that he does not develop other skills because the students do not like to write and do not and do not understand what they say. Also, his English classes are designed to teach all the simple vocabulary and simple grammatical structures. And in that, in every class, he presents insulated sentences or short paragraphs to be suggested in the thematic units of the national curriculum to be translated with the help of dictionaries. This is unacceptable, and this point is wrong because the teacher is only teaching vocabulary and syntax. In that case, sentences. And what are the other parts of the English? So the teacher, for a good learning of the English language, you need listening, speaking, and reading too. Students' behavior. In the class, many students do not understand English, and regards that motive, did not understand the whole class. But there is a small group of students that understand English, but the teacher does not pay attention to them because he decided to not pay attention to the whole class because of the bad behavior the students have. This is a huge mistake as a teacher, because the mission of the teacher is learning and giving a good learning, in that case a good English learning for all the students, even they have a bad behavior or they are not good at English. And so we need that, and also the teacher needs a sense of leadership and try to connect with all the students.
Another point that we have right here is sociocultural learning. In this case, we could notice that Mr. Zapata does not give that much importance to the development of sociocultural aspects of English, since in his opinion, these are not of interest to the students. As he points out, they don't even know what's going on in their country. This, from a teacher's perspective, is a terrible mistake that should never be done. Our labor as English teachers is not only to teach the theoretical aspects of the English language, but also the social and cultural upbringings of the language, how it developed over time, how certain events or people had their influence in the language, and how the accents change depending on the different zones that you can find on an English-speaking country, how people live in these zones, their customs, holidays. All of these aspects, we need to take them into account, and Mr. Zapata is not doing it. So the students show no interest, little to no interest at all, and it's doing serious damage.
We are looking into the possible solutions that we as a group encounter in order to make this situation a little bit better. First, we have a better willingness and approach to the students from the teacher and vice versa. When we talk about better willingness to work from the teacher part, we're talking about how the teacher refers to the students, saying that they are ignorant and looking down on them, and he does seem to understand how different social backgrounds can affect this understanding and the learning process of the students. He does not seem to care either about this type of situation. His students are not lazy nor ignorant. They come from very difficult social background and they do not have the same level as a private school would have. He needs to take this into consideration in order to make a better approach to his students and search for a better way of teaching according to their capabilities and level. This makes us as a group doubt about the teacher ethics, because we're taught in the first year of university how to understand that every student is a world on its own. We are being taught in the fact that we should be flexible enough to understand and accommodate as much as possible to their needs. Also, we are taught how to use them in a very useful way, not discriminating them or being condescending with them because of it. A student behaves in a better way when he trusts and believes the teacher who is teaching them.
Another point is hire more teachers of the help of the word overload that Mr. Zapata has. In the whole case, we can see Mr. Zapata is the only teacher of the whole school, and this is this is not okay because the overload that Mr. Zapata has in that school is unacceptable, and even is the guilty is of the government because he, they need to hire more teachers. They need to contract more English teacher because only one for all the courses is so overload for Mr. Zapata, and also the stress they has for being the only teacher is wrong is not okay for a teacher, and also he's not be able to give all the students feedback or giving a good learning because he only try to his to make the best for all the students, and it's difficult for them to make a good learning when Mr. Zapata is the only teacher, the English teacher of that school. The other one is using different methodologies to teach. This is one of the most important points of every possible solution. The first one is because we are not to be able to learn as an old-fashioned fashionable way because, for example, learn the contents and algorithm test. It's not like that anymore, and the teachers learn and trying to connect with all the students with different methodologies because not all the students learns in the same way, and also you need the we not only talk about students at all, we talk about many students, different students, even with the discapacities. For example, the age the age the age attention deficits or attention deficits, and also if this is one of the most difficult to learn, for example, uh, hyperactivity hyperactivity disorder is so difficult to learn for them, and also we include autism because they need a different way for learning. And for example, one of the most as a students, as a English teacher students, we can see the effort that colorful PPTs or videos they had is so important because we learn so many things of that, and also the different methodologies to learn with that, and also giving a lot of good activities, and it's okay for them.
We have also the solution of teaching the whole pack of different skills to learn English, and not only the grammatical and writing skills. Here we can see the teacher is mostly working with grammar skills more than communicational ones. And that's not useful for teaching a language as a whole. They need to practice all the different skills they need in order to learn English language. That's so grammar, syntax, phonetics, and phonology. This is related to the last point we touched, how to use different methodologies in order to achieve different goals. For example, make the students do theater in order to learn how to speak and pronounce different words with different intonations in order to sound more natural, or maybe even sing songs that make them lose their tongue at the hour of speak English properly.
Now I'm going to explain the last possible solution is update the instruments for future evaluations. The evaluations is not only written test. You have many ways of for grading or evaluating the students. For example, we have making a video talking about a specific topic, reading a book, or writing a short history, or or stories, articles, or whatever they like. They have many ways for evaluating, not just only written tests about contents. There are so many ways for learning. Also, listening.
So, as a conclusion, with this group, we saw and analyzed a specific case that is not that uncommon in our educational system. We, as future teachers, want to be in our best capacities to teach our future students, who are all different from each other and have different learning necessities and styles. When we were analyzing the case, we felt identified with a lot of things described in this case. All of us came from different social backgrounds and municipal high schools. We understand how hard it is as students to keep on track with our subjects and how boring classes can be. But as future teachers, we also understand that in some cases there are teachers who did not learn in the same way that we are learning how to teach. They learn in an old-fashioned way that need not care about students' psychology and social background in the way that we take into consideration the same topics nowadays. We want to keep trying to become our best selves and the best teachers that we possibly can. And with the help of the topics that we study at the university, we are on our way to reach that goal. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much for your attention.